New Scotland Yard, London, England, an address that is known worldwide. Headquarters of the Metropolitan Police, guardians of the capital city against crime. In the marbled lobby, an eternal flame burns in memory of those members of the civil staff who have given their lives in both world wars, together with a book of honour in which is recorded the names of police officers who have lost their lives in the course of duty. And in a quiet corner of the building, a place where legend becomes fact that I would like to tell you about. But it is for the Deputy Commissioner to invite you in.
Here in the Yard is one of the police museums that many have heard of, but few have visited. It's an unusual museum and started life in 1875, when it was decided to keep certain items of property seized in connection with crime to instruct the young detectives of the then relatively new Detective Department of Scotland Yard. It was not too long before the press gave this collection of somewhat macabre artifacts the unofficial title of the Black Museum. And so it's remained over the years, exhibiting the darker side of human nature, instructing the professional policeman and the lawyer, and intriguing the layman by its very name and remoteness. We've never opened the doors of the Black Museum to the general public, and all visits have been by way of invitation and always highly prized. The exhibits range from the apparently insignificant to the spectacular, and from the hardly known to the infamous, whose names are known throughout the world. They have in common one thing: supreme importance to the history of crime and the criminal, as you will see.
Montrose to handcuffs, London. Crippen and Leneve arrested. Wire later, due. The end of a successful murder hunt and the first time that radio had been used to catch and report the arrest of the murderer. Dr. Hawley Harvey Crippen, an American citizen born in Coldwater, Michigan in 1862. A small man, no more than 5 feet 3 or 4, now aged 50 with hair scanty bald on top and rather long scanty moustache. Now wanted, together with his accomplice Ethel Leneve, by the Metropolitan Police for murder and mutilation. The victim, Mrs. Cora Crippen, wife of Dr. Crippen, who he married in Jersey City before settling in London, England some years later. In the music halls where she performed, she was known as Belle Elmore. Vibrant, vivacious, and not unknown to give private performances at home for men friends when the good doctor was out. Perhaps it is no wonder that the quiet, unhappy doctor sought solace and found consolation in his typist, 27-year-old Ethel Leneve. He fell in love and sought the final solution. He poisoned his unfaithful, ebullient wife with 5 grains of hyoscine, a narcotic drug easily available to a doctor, and buried her in the coal cellar. And there she may well have stayed, undiscovered, had not a music hall friend returning from a tour in the States some months later become suspicious of her friend's disappearance and shared her fears with Scotland Yard. Into this cellar stepped Chief Inspector Walter Dew of the newly formed Serious Crime Squad. He took hold of this spade, the selfsame one used by Dr. Crippen, and began to scrape and dig. Very soon, it struck the remains of Belle Elmore, including her bleached blonde hair. The hunt was on for Dr. Crippen and Ethel Leneve, but the birds had flown. They were checked in to a hotel in Brussels, registered as John Robinson, a merchant, and his 16-year-old son, John. And as such, on Wednesday, the 20th of July, boarded the SS Montrose at Antwerp, bound for Quebec. But their disguise did not fool Captain Kendall of the Montrose. The Marconi operator on board could hardly send fast enough. 3 p.m. GMT, Friday, 130 miles west. Lizard have strong suspicions that Crippen, London cellar murderer and accomplice are among saloon passengers. Moustache taken off growing beard, accomplice dressed as a boy, voice, manner and build undoubtedly a girl. Chief Inspector Dew didn't need to read further. He was on a faster ship and waiting for them in Quebec to send his victorious electric telegraph message. Dr. Crippen and Ethel Neve were tried separately. Crippen was found guilty and sentenced to death. Ethel Neve was acquitted and freed. Dr. Hawley Harvey Crippen was hanged in Pentonville Prison on the 23rd of November 1910. The first time that wireless telegraph was used in criminal investigation.